What's up, Copy Squad? It's your boy Kyle Milligan of KyleTheWriter.com, and today we're going to talk about will AI replace copywriters and how soon could it happen? Alright, so this question has been buzzing around the internet for a while. It's all over Facebook groups. I've had it pop up in some of my comments and even my emails and DMs and stuff. And my usual response to will artificial intelligence replace copywriters and start handling copywriting all on its own? My general response is who cares? Because usually these questions are framed like, oh, do you think 5 or 10 years from now, and I had one go 10, 15, basically the time frame is anywhere from 5 to infinity years from now, will machines replace copywriters? And my response has been, I don't care. Like, really, what I said something earlier, adapters will adapt, everybody else will fall off. If it isn't copywriting, maybe those skills of sales are transferable, but I don't have any content planned for today. I never do. I usually have to find something. So the last thing I read before I hit the go live button was about AI. So I'm going to rap about AI. What would it take for AI to replace copywriters? Well, we know copywriting works because it sells to the big 4 emotions. New, easy, safe, and big, okay? These are the sales emotions that trigger people to get salivating, the greed glands salivating, makes them drool over your offer and want your stuff. So, I do explain what the big 4 emotions are, how you can trigger them inside my book, Take Their Money. That book is available at KyleTheWriter.com/book. If you're interested in checking that out, loads of good reviews. That topic, the big 4 emotions, has helped me gross over $7.1 million in 2018 for Agora Financial Sales. Hi, Kyle. I got a question here. Hi, Kyle. I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. Take their money at KyleTheWriter.com/book. Deep Work explains this quite well. Thanks for the recommendation. Right. Okay. So that's another thing I like to... you beat me to it, Sod. The Deep Work angle. I was going to talk about that. So first, let's start with Deep Work, and then we'll talk about how AI can overcome human copywriters. One of my favorite books, and I recommend this like in every other live, basically, is called Deep Work by Cal Newport. And he says to be successful in today's era, today's age or internet era or whatever, you need to be one of 3 things. You need either, 1, be able to work with sophisticated software and machinery. So that basically means AI, right? You need to be able to work with really complex stuff like programming language that people haven't even just barely developed yet, right? Cutting edge stuff. Number 2, so work with sophisticated software and machinery. Number 2, you need to be the best because we live in an era of the internet. I do not have to go down the road and hire someone off a job board anymore. I can get online, I can search for a copywriter that writes for my niche and hire them. And whoever's the best, I can find them. I can ask recommendations on Facebook. I can locate the best, and generally people know who the best are. So they will just naturally rise to the top. They're top of mind. And what internet marketers can do, like what I'm doing here, is I stay top of mind because I go live every day and give away free content. So people like to tune in pretty frequently, and I can build credibility and trust that way. So complicated software and machinery. I'm not sure exactly which words he used. Be the best. Because you can get the best thanks to the internet. Click the mouse, you can have the best person at your doorstep, metaphorically. Then 3, you can already be rich. If you've already got money to invest, you can make yourself richer. So those are the 3 ways to be successful in this day and age. So where does AI factor into that, right? How does artificial intelligence matter? Well, it matters directly with 1 and 2 are competing. So 1 would be like AI and 2 would be the best. So you can be replaced if you are like a content marketer, because a content marketer isn't selling. A content marketer is reporting facts. And AI, I think, is duly capable of just reporting statistics, because you can just inform and educate and not sell anything right at the bottom. So some content writers like to confuse the issue and claim to be copywriters because they're saying it's content, so it's copy. Basically, copywriting is anything written with the intent to sell, okay? So go ahead and scratch blog posts out of that. Like an advertorial would file under copywriting, where it's written very specifically to trigger the big four emotions throughout. However, if I want you to come away with more knowledge and information, that's a blog post, it's content. And just if you weave in some stuff, it doesn't necessarily make it copywriting, right? Copywriting is writing that's written with the express intent to make you take action, okay? So, content writers, I think, are, they can be dealt with like with AI, and I'm pretty sure that they are already starting to see that happen. Like short product descriptions are generated by AI nowadays, and just like anything that you can just spew facts, right? Doesn't require that you do any sort of research, doesn't require any psychology, doesn't require anything like that. So let's talk about going up to the next level. Essentially, the closer to the sale you get, and this is kind of interesting, the closer to the sale you get, the more valuable your skill becomes. For instance, writing a long form direct response sales letter. I love that. That's what I do. I write long form letters, like 40-page letters, and at the bottom is like a buy now or subscribe now button. I love that because there's a significant barrier to entry. Most people just don't have the gumption to learn the language of copywriting and speak it for 40 pages. So I have a nice barrier to entry. I have a moat, a competitive moat, as Warren Buffett would call it, right? I have a moat from outsiders, like other people who want to do this. Generally, they see the dollar signs, they get greedy, and then they just read one book and try to get into the business, and then they fail, and then they quit. That's cool. I'm down with that. I like that because that means I can keep being the best, right? I can be number 2. So number 1, work with complicated machinery like AI. Number 2 is be the best. You see how these two are kind of at odds? Because if you're the best, AI hasn't quite caught up, and the further sophistication level you go, the harder it will be for AI to catch you. Okay, so what will it take for AI to catch you? Content can be generated by AI. I'm like 95% confident that can be done basically today. All right, so content writers, you're probably going to lose your jobs. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at you. But so content writers. Then the next level would probably be like super short form copywriting, where you are essentially doing like features and benefit bullets. Right, a machine can probably test variants of conversions, and this is where I think AI will get very tricky. There will be a time where it can run like millions of tests. The trick is just traffic. If I can have like 1,000 people hit my web page and I can run 2 tests a day, right, or something like that. If the AI can run like 2 tests where I just test one line at a time, and I get 2,000 visitors per day, and then it tests one line at a time to see which one converts, and then moves to the next line and see which one converts better, then moves to the next line and see which one converts better, and just keeps doing that till it hits like a benchmark, AI could be a very powerful force. Now here's where I think, this is all, I'm just speculating. Like, I had no content today, so don't come at me like, no, I read this article. Dude, I am literally just speculating because, again, Saturday, I was just kicking it, and I had, like, no idea what I was going to talk about today. So I just thought I'd talk about this because it's the last comment I read. The hang-up is going to be in the research. And the more sophisticated your research needs to be, the less effective AI can be, like, out of the gate. And it can test and try to find the numbers and conversions, but what we can do as copywriters, especially long-form direct response copywriters, is we are writing to a guy, right? We have a customer avatar, and maybe AI can figure that stuff out too, but everything that we do is an emotional sell, okay? And I think that brings it full circle. That's why I say content writers, you're probably going to lose your jobs to AI because you are writing information and education. The further out on like the cutting edge your information is, the more safety you have. But if you're just like an Amazon affiliate content writer where you're just like hashing out facts about like a product, your days are numbered. If you're writing about personal experiences, you can still shine, right? So the further towards the cutting edge you get, the bigger moat you have. The more personalized and human your writing is about your personal experiences, like personal branding, stuff like that, you have a moat. But if you're just like writing product descriptions or content like we're just educating someone, you're in danger. I think in today, 2019, you're probably in a little bit of danger already. All right. So moving forward, the big 4 emotions. And this is what I want to bring it full circle. Because we are selling, okay, and this brings in the language of copywriting, right? At the moment that we understand that copywriting is a professional language that requires the communication is not the words, okay? The machine, okay, and this is where people get tied up. This is why they have trouble learning copywriting. The machine reads the words, right? It does not interpret their meaning. It just reads the words at this time. I mean, it can probably get a general idea of like meaning, right? But even at the human level, we do the same thing. People read copy, they see these short little words, they say, oh, that's just exciting, I'll just write hypey stuff and I'll make a bunch of money. What they really miss is the subtext that's communicated beneath the words. Every single line of copy, which is written with the express intent to compel you to take action, right, has a subtle subtext of either new, easy, safe, or big. Generally, with some exceptions, like the amplifiers that I talk about in the book, Take Their Money, kylethewriter.com/book. So new, amplifier is only, which is exclusivity. And that's one of the reasons why people get tied up with new. They think that it had to come out yesterday for it to be new. No, it just has to be unique, man. It has to be unique and something I haven't seen before, okay? New, easy, and anybody. This is so easy that anybody can do it, okay? Safe. Safe is about credibility, and then it's amplifier, what I call an alter ego, would be predictability. So like, this is a credible source, and we've seen this pattern happen again and again and again, so we can count on it happening again with us. All right, it's like you can help bolster that with like start with credibility, and then you can dovetail that into like a track record or something like that. But just plain Jane selling on track record won't get you there. We've tested it. We've tried doing promos where we just put the track record at the top, and they don't do as well because it's not an emotional sell. And then big, and then the last thing for big is fast. So the alter ego for big is fast. So basically, whenever there's writing, the reason we're successful as copywriters is because we understand that we're not writing just plain Jane words. Our words, in this particular order, will trigger one of these emotional responses. And this is the barrier that we have as a competitive moat from AI at this time. I don't think AI has the sophistication to tell, like, okay, I need to convey that this is new and unique. What is a line that I can do to do that? Maybe it will be able to, like, split test a bajillion things until it accidentally lands on that. But a copywriter, like you and me, can sit down and say, okay, what's important to this guy? And I'm going to give you some ideas. Like, this guy in particular is really about politics. He's really worried that the Democrats are going to ruin his retirement and socialism's going to take over. He's going to get taxed to death, and he already has very little in the bank as it is, and he can't work anymore. Right? These things are very important to him. So I can do research on like what's popping up on Fox News, what's popping up on CNN, what's on the Drudge Report, and find out what's top of mind for this dude. And then I can bring that language to him and say, you know, the Democrats don't want you to know this secret, right? So, well, what's the secret? And then I can find something new and unique that I found like in the news, like just came out today or something, some new report reveals, and I can kind of start going with it and going with it and going with it. And that's one of the benefits that we have as copywriters when we're actually writing direct response copy. Now, in terms of like product description, stuff like that, anything where you're basically leaning on facts and not the emotional side of the sale, right? So that definitely includes content writing. I think the days are numbered. Let's see if I got any questions. No questions, but yeah. I think that's really what it is, man. Until AI can figure out, and the thing is, I don't think AI will ever figure out the emotions. I think what they'll do is, for it to be successful, it would have to be able to split test like a bajillion lines at a time. And the problem would be traffic. You'd need like several thousand visitors to split test that much. And while split testing, if it's failing, you might drop off the map in terms of visitors. So that might cost a ton of money to send traffic. And how would you even begin to get the traffic? Would you have to first have a human write that copy to drum up the traffic and then try to optimize with AI? So maybe that's how AI gets its start and begins learning, is through humans. Humans get all this traffic, they create ads that drive them to a page that AI continually optimizes until it like converts it 20% or something insane, right? But then again, the research element, the research element is something that is totally human. And it allows us to tap into their psyche. Not because the research brings us awesome facts, but we as humans can be creative enough to tie these facts, right? That's the art of copywriting. It's the big four emotions. We take the facts, all right? So I know people are loss averse, right? I know people have a scarcity loss aversion mindset. And I know that in a study of loss aversion that people would rather have a 100% chance at $80 than an 80% chance at $100 and a 20% chance to win $10. So those are facts. Those are lines that don't make any like sort of compelling argument one way or the other. However, that is an element of there's some safety stuff written in there. So, I can tell you like, look, there's a new way to sell that's scientifically proven to be more effective. So I just said there's a new way to sell and it's scientifically proven to be effective. So I just weave some new and safe in there. So I'll tell you about it. It was discovered that people are so loss averse that if you can just do this little trick, right, you can automatically make them find your competitors repulsive. So all you gotta do is build a little bit of risk around your competitors, okay? So that creates loss aversion. So there's a simple trick. There's a brand new trick that I'm telling you about today that is scientifically proven to get people to hate your customers and love your offer, right? So you just make them look very risky, so that's a bad deal. The way we do this in financial copywriting is we say, don't invest in the S&P 500. It just lost 6%. Why would you do that? In 2018, I think it went down like 6%. So is it so safe anymore? I don't think so. So the trick is to cast doubt on your competitors. And then the next thing you say, actually, these things that I recommend you invest in have gone up 18% over the last 5 years. So there, I took that, I created doubt over here, some loss aversion, brought my guarantee level up by saying, look, over the last 5 years, safe and predictable, over the last 5 years, these have gone up, okay? So again, all that coming from, okay, so what's the trick? So again, this is research, baby. So we know the statistics about loss aversion. So I can tell you there's a brand new methodology for selling. It's scientifically proven to be effective. Is that the right one? Nope, it should be the middle finger. Whoops. Let's do this. It's a brand new method, right? It is scientifically proven to be effective, and it's so easy. All you got to do is mention your competitor and this trick, and then mention your offer and this trick, and watch your sales soar. There's big, okay? And it takes 5 minutes. So I just did the whole new easy, safe, and big. So I took all that dry data, that I knew was like, okay, people would rather have 100% shot at $80 than a 80% shot at $100. Okay, so I took that knowledge, that fact, and I made it a cool trick that you can use to bolster your sales. So that's from the research, right? And then one other thing I could do, I had another idea just now. We could do that. Bolster your sales in just a couple minutes. You guys see how that works though? I'm instead of telling you the facts, like people would rather do this than that. The other thing is, it would allow you to like cheapen your offer and still make more sales, right? So let's not get into that. It's a little bit deeper. It'd take me a minute to figure out. But do you see what I'm saying? Like I took the raw stats and the facts that I know about, and I tied them to the big four emotions. Now I have copywriting. Okay, so that's something I think is a little more creative side of things than. If you want to learn how to do this, how to trigger the big four emotions in the way that I just illustrated, I have a whole book, 144 pages, 140 some odd pages, just about triggering these big four emotions. And it will, examples after examples after examples, just like I told you here, down to how to analyze a single line of copy. I'm talking like I pull a random line out of a random piece of copy, like a whole sales page. I take one line and I say, look, now you know how exactly what they're trying to do here. And it can be done at the single line level. So that book is called Take Their Money. It's available at kylethewriter.com/book. And I'll teach you exactly how to analyze copy in this way. It's basically a secret language, okay? Because the words on the page don't matter so much. When we just made up that little example just 1 second ago, what really mattered is that I was conveying new, easy, safe, and big, okay? That's what made it so intriguing. That's what made it so exciting. And when you understand how to convert raw data, facts, into these four things, sales, cut and dry. There's no other pitch, dude. That's it. You get sales, man. You make money. You're balling. All right. You move to Florida and you get blue walls, and it's really awesome. So I can't guarantee you get that, but potentially could happen to you. All right. Any questions before I sign off, guys? this was a neat little conversation. Again, recapping about AI. I think AI will be able to figure out the language. I think like the English language, not the copywriting language, the English language where they just report raw facts and data. Again, what separates the higher level copywriters, especially the longer form you go, the bigger competitive moat you get, is we have to take that raw data and convert it to a new language, the language of copywriting, okay? That's a subtle, sub-communicated language that people can't even figure out. Like, a lot of people don't even notice it. I think you will if you read my book. But most people don't even realize what's happening to their brains. The subtle communications go directly to the emotional center of your brain, and science has proven that's where the decision-making center of your brain is. You cannot make basic decisions without the emotional part of the brain. Everything else, the logic, pros and cons, rationale, all that crap, does not allow you to make decisions. I got scientific backing on that. Neuroscientists found that this dude who had a brain tumor in the emotional center of his brain, damaged that one part of his brain, he could not make a simple decision. That's the fact. That's the truth, the proof of it. All right? So, again, the other thing, research. So we speak to a customer avatar. We know how to trigger that psyche using the 4 new, easy, safe, and big. I have a whole research, 6-video research training at the bottom of copywriter.com/book if you're interested in learning how to do research that really compels people to take action on your copy. I show you my process of writing Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad author. I wrote his sales letter for Rich Dad's Retirement Masterclass. I show you how I did the research for that promo on the bottom of copywriter.com/book. No questions coming through. Thanks so much for tuning in today, Copy Squad. That is all I got. I think I need to start throwing my peace up sign. Okay, here's I put my other videos here, and then it blocks my peace out sign. So I need to do it like this. Problem is, my mouse is over here. So I gotta figure this out, man. I'm a college graduate. I can do this. All right. Dude, this is Saturday, dude. I'm just bored. All right. Here we go. There's the end video button. Peace out, Copy Squad.